Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Gimme the Check podcast. I am your host, Fredy V. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know I say this for some of my guests, but this episode is going to be really special. Really, really special. Couple things that I can say about my next guest is that he is one of my greatest mentors, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. This man started out his career as a horn player and has shared the stages with acts like Millie Jackson, the Jacksons, and in case you confuse what type of Jacksons, I'm talking about Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, and them type of Jacksons, you know what I'm saying? He toured the world with so many other acts that I don't have enough time in this intro to tell you about. Moved to Montreal in the 90s and reinvented himself as a singer. And since that time, he has been a patriarch of soul, of funk, and everything that is good and pure in music in the city. We gonna chop it up. Like a lot of my guests, I've had here, but this one goes deep, man. This is records, this is history, this is time. So I want you guys to buckle up for this one. Call your auntie, call your cousin, let him know that the one and only Alan Prater is in the building. Look at you. You better stretch yourself. Look at you. Oh, my. Go ahead, dog.
What's up, dog?
Man, I just need to take a moment.
Let us both take a moment.
Let's just take a moment, man. If do you want to bless this right quick? Cause I don't know. Cause I don't know. I'm getting emotional right now. I ain't even started. Right, I get emotional right now. But
On the real,
on the real, go for it, man. For real.
Heavenly Father, here we are once again in your presence, asking you to come between the two of us, Father. Because as you said, when two or more get together, you will appear. So here we are with my man Fredy, nephew. Blessing to all those who can hear under the voices that we have today, delivering what we can deliver to those who want to listen. All praise to you and the Creator. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Don't forget to bring that microphone up to you.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure the check is good. So, with my guests, sometimes I prepare a lot, and because of very specific things, I started doing that with you, and I was like, man, I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to end. So we gonna flow, and we gonna let the spirit, and I'm gonna let you guide it to wherever you want to get, whatever stories you want to talk about, and let's just kind of go chronology. But I would love to start with you, Alan, and talk about your beginnings in Jacksonville, Florida. How music came into your life, how you chose that weapon of choice, the T-bone, the trombone, and how you was just killing dudes just coming up, and then all the way to your experiences at FAMU, which is a HBCU. For those of you guys in Canada who don't know what a HBCU is, it is a historically black college and university. Right now, there's a huge movement in the States that is really placing importance on these amazing institutions like FAMU, Howard University, shout out, what up, DC, and so many different other historically black colleges. And Allen is a product of that. So what was it like coming up and picking up the T-bone? I don't even know where to start.
Well, before the trombone came, I was let's go back a bit.
Go for it.
I started out first thing I got introduced to music was just hanging at the house with mom and listening to all the Motown stuff and dancing and doing that kind of thing, And my first instrument was violin.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah, it was violin, and it didn't last too long. Mom wasn't having it after a while,
Yeah, that's a tough come up instrument.
Yeah. But we tried that. Then I got to junior high school, and I did drums.
Ooh.
And I got pretty good at drums and playing snare drum in the marching band.
Right.
And after that, went to high school. I went to high school in a different neighborhood. We had relocated in other parts of the city. And when I got to this high school, they had so many drummers that the band director told me I wouldn't probably march within the next couple of years because there were just too many drummers. So I asked him what other instruments you needed. And he said trumpet and trombone. So I said, I'll try trombone. And I was in ninth grade then. I started playing trombone. By 11th grade, I was selected one of the top 2 trombone players in the state of Florida.
Damn.
And that led to going to camps, up in North Carolina, Eastern Music School every summer. They would select these musicians from all over the states, 2 from each state, I think it was. And 2 years in a row, I was one of the trombone players from Florida, or one of the musicians from Florida. And the horn took to me. I don't know how, but it did. That's where it started from then.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I see you in the marching bands. I see you, and and trust me, and during this podcast, we're gonna talk about the things that we miss about down south, the things that we miss about back home. You know what I'm saying? You're talking to a DC and a Florida dude right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And when
man.
it comes to just down south marching bands, man.
Grits and grocery.
Okay. Okay. Tell it. For real. And it's like, and I want to give people like a bit of a glimpse into that. You know what I'm saying? Because I find that when you have that rich of a musical experience, it's just like you can do anything. You can play anything. And so you gravitated towards the trombone. Now talk to me about how your rise with that instrument, like the craft of playing. Like, how did you get your chops? Who were you playing with? And when did you know that you're like, yo, I'm about to slay this thing as a profession. Like, this thing is gonna bring me around the world. What did you have an aha moment? Or was it just something that's just always kind of, because I know you come from a very musical family too and stuff.
Yeah.
So how did that come about where you were just like, all right, that's it, I'm doing this?
Well, the aha moment, it was, I don't know if it was a moment, it may have been a series of events, and because in high school, like, you were always competing as a musician.
Right.
In order to get in the band, you had to compete. And same thing in my university. We had a marching band in university. You seen Drumline, and you see that kind of movie. And
Right.
it was like that. We was the marching band that was like presidential inaugurations. We did the Super Bowl. We did those kind of things like that. And in order to get in that band, you had to be top notch. And you can, if you wanted to get in the band, say if I'm a trombone player, I want to be in that band, I want to march this year, I'm gonna challenge somebody in the trombone section.
Hold up, like, whoa, time out. Like Bill Cosby and Sammy Davis Jr. Challenge.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. That started in high school.
That's
you want to get in,
dope.
you had to challenge somebody, and the band ready to sit you down, and you select a piece of music. Next day or whatever, he'd call you back in and everybody, and you sit and you play. And you go in this room, and you and him, and you and the band director, and the next guy going, you and the band director, him and the band director, or her and the band director, and you come out, and all the musicians are sitting around waiting to see who did what.
The king of the, yeah, right?
And so that was the come up like that. If you wanted to be, you had to challenge, you had to knock somebody out the way. So that kind of thing was always competitive. It was healthy competitive. It wasn't no nastiness going on like that. It was just things that if you wanted something, you had to go get it.
Yeah, you have to earn your keep, for sure.
You had to go get it. And if you get in there, somebody coming at you too. So, you're still on top of your game. And that lasted through the whole universities and until I moved on to doing playing music in clubs and stuff like that.
Right.
That was a little different and a little easier actually, but it was different,
What was different between that environment of university with the musical director and whatnot compared to the clubs? What was different for you?
Well, for me, it was like coming from a classical structured place,
Right.
Everything had its boundaries and had its and which were good, very, very good. But once you got to playing in clubs and playing in the first band, it was like all this freedom of just doing whatever you want to do, and you see how you could just stand on the stage and go left when everybody else went it right if you wanted to, or whatever. It's just simple things that you could just be, you start to find your footing, who you want to be as a musician. I wasn't thinking about being an artist. I was just thinking about being a musician, playing in the bands and crowds and girls and whatever, and have people cheering at you. And that may have been an aha moment, because once you hear the applause, that's kind of addictive.
Yeah, for sure.
And that started in university, doing the Super Bowl and you halftime. And back then, you did a halftime show. Nobody left to go to some concession stand at halftime, because they know that band, which is Florida A&M University.
Okay.
You some people came to the game for the band.
For the band, straight up.
No kidding.
Straight up.
So that cheers and applause and stuff, it kind of be addictive. So that kind of started, I think. That kind of started my journey.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's so true. That's exactly what I wanted to say. The bands were so good at these football games and whatnot that it's like you don't go to the concession stand at halftime.
No.
Some people are coming in for the actual band, man.
Yeah, because the band's competing too. You got this university band, they both playing, so everybody want to see what's up, what band gonna knock what band off.
Hey, steel sharpens steel, man. Wow.
Say it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So like how did you go from the club circuit, and I guess I imagine that you were getting your notoriety, to that point where you're starting to play with and tour with renowned artists, the artists that you looked up to, or what some of us saying, getting the call. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when did that happen for you in terms of like, fam, club, and then like you off? Like, talk to me about that transition and like maybe like one of your first artists that made you become like that professional touring musician.
Yeah, cool. So playing clubs, that was something that every band, everybody did around Jacksonville, around Florida, and down south anyway. And we used to have our band touring to Florida, southeastern states, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, things like that, and some Carolinas. And we had a pretty hot band. We probably had one of the hottest bands, if not the hottest band, in Florida.
Right.
We would like to think so anyway. And we had an opportunity to open up for this girl, Millie Jackson, came to town. And we had an opportunity to open up for her. And she was looking for a horn section at the time. And so my horn section, which is every band had a horn section then. If you had a band, you could not have a horn section because you wasn't rate.
Tell it.
So
today, that's a luxury right now. We look at
saying?
horns like, ooh, you high class, you fancy, you fancy.
All that, man. And so we did the horns for her on her show after we did the opening act, and then we come back and we did the horns for her. She dug it, and we dug it too because she was hot. And so I asked her where she was, what she was doing the next show, and I said, I would love to do some more shows. I was excited, young and excited, and she said she was going to Detroit, and then some other places that we were going, and I just got eager, man, and just got aggressive and went. I knew where she was going to play in Detroit, and I took me and my boys, 3 of us, sax player, trumpet player, and myself playing trombone, and we jumped in my car and we drove 15, 16 hours to meet her in Detroit, which she did not expect us to know we were coming. Crazy thing, man, that we got to Detroit, we didn't know the place she was playing, but we knew what hotel she was staying. So we camped out in front of the hotel. In the parking lot, man. It was crazy too, man, because we from down south, man. We don't know anything about these northern things. And we in the hotel parking lot, fall asleep, wake up in the middle of the night. It's like, I don't know, 11 or 12 at night, and it was white everywhere. It was snow everywhere. All over my brand new car was snow, man. It was like, what in the heck is all this stuff?
What is this substance?
What is this substance? And man, I'm saying, I just bought my car, man. I was like, my brand new car got this stuff on it. I don't know, what the heck is this stuff? And it was snow, of course. It was weird, man. So that happened, and then we see the tour bus pull up, and it was her. And so I went inside and approached her. We went inside and approached her, and she was surprised, like, "What are you doing here?" He was like, "Yo, I told you I wanted to get out, whatever." And she was like, so blown aback, man. She was like, "Okay, well, meet me in New York next week, da-da-da-da-da-da. You know? So I drove back to Florida, me and my boys, and we went to New York.
Wow.
And she hired us, and that was it for the next couple of years. We were with her, traveling the world.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the story, and it gets me every time because I'm just thinking about in the present day. I don't hear stories like that anymore. You know what I mean? I definitely hear that. Yeah, I packed my bags. I went to New York. I went to LA for sure. You know what I mean? But to bet on yourself like that, like to believe in yourself, your mission, and your connection with that woman, and say, I'm going to drive 16 hours, although she doesn't expect me, and show her I want this. I can understand why she was blown back, man. And it's like, yo, man, guys, but please remember this story because this is like, I don't see people who want it that much and will go to bat for themselves and invest in themselves and bet on themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like that's so beautiful, man. So you start touring with her for a couple of years, and I can only imagine that with her, she must have introduced you to experiences, to people, to other great artists that you've had relationships with and whatnot. So explain to me what you learned and through your experiences with Millie. And where did that bring you, and what did she bring and who did she bring to you?
Yeah, that was like really, really beautiful time, man. Like I spent 2 years with her, and but man, once you got to that level, it's like doing shows. Like you do a show in, it could be anywhere, man, in Baltimore, Maryland, and on the show it could be B.B. King, it could be the Isley Brothers, Johnny Taylor. It could be anybody along that circuit, which they called back then the Chitlin
The
circuit.
Chitlin Circuit,
The
that's
Chitlin
right.
circuit, and all these cats like that, and Johnny Guitar Watson, all these kind of people. So all these famous people that we looked up to, and like especially in that R&B and funk thing, here they were right there. And Millie is the only woman around in that group,
Wow.
Of course Gladys Knight and crap like that. But Millie was like one of the boys.
Mm-hmm.
They always at Millie, and Millie was like, man, get the out of here, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she, so when she introduced people like, the Isley Brothers to us, man, and like I said, B.B. King and those kind of people, man, you're doing shows with these people everywhere you go with her, with somebody like that, the Moments, the OJs, the Dramatics out of Detroit. Oh, my
man.
goodness. So these things were crazy. And you're like, a young man, young dude, man, and you finding these things out, man, and how people do their shows and watch cats come in, man, driving their beautiful cars, and they walk to the stage, and they, it was. So being around her, man, it taught us a lot about staging, about being professional, looking professional, when she walk in the room, she own the room, and stuff like that. You watch cats like Johnny Taylor, you watch cats like Ronnie Isley come in there, and you walk into a room, and you see how he walked in the room, and this dude is somebody special, So you pick up on those kind of traits, and it just become innate in you,
Right.
And that's the kind of thing I picked up from her is that, you're a star. You're a star. You're not a star when you hit the stage. You're a star when you walk into the room, So that kind of thing like that. And I kind of I like that.
That's what's up.
I like that.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I just had a vision of Ronald Osley walking into a room with you, and what it must have been your first impression, because that's somebody that,
yeah, man,
as the more and time goes by, the more the Isley Brothers are everything to me.
Mr. Big, them, man, they was like crazy. Man, these cats, man, been around for what, 60 years or something? 60 years? Since 1962, I think they've been making hits.
Like it don't stop.
We're not talking about making
Since
records.
like 59.
We ain't talking about making records. We're talking about making hits.
Hits.
That's insane, man. That's insane.
And to be in the 50s, and you make me want to shout, and then to jump in the 60s, and every time Motown drops something, you right there with them.
Yeah.
And then afterwards to go into the 70s, and and to revolutionize R&B guitar and the psychedelica
Bernie and all that,
and you know what I'm saying, the summer breezes and all that.
Ooh,
You know what I'm
most
saying?
favorite song.
Oh man, no,
My
Summer
most favorite
Breeze,
song
Summer
by
Breeze,
Isley Brothers,
man. Oh,
Yeah, man. So
and
being around that kind of thing, man.
80s, you know, the Angela Winbush productions and all that.
Yardbirds
And
and
then
People.
90s, Mr. Big. I'm like, this every decade, this dude got
Yeah, every decade.
every decade.
Every decade, man, this dude come up with something, man. And being around cats like that, and next thing you know, you sitting in the kitchen, and there they are. You know, y'all eating the same food, and you know, and Chuck Jackson. I don't know if you that kind of old, dating myself, but
Bring your mic up. Bring your mic up.
people like Chuck Jackson and stuff. You know, you sitting in like we sitting chopping up right here, and,
Right.
and right there's Ronnie Isley, right there's Chuck Jackson, right there could be Albert King, could be anybody right there. You know, and they sitting in Millie's house, you know, eating barbecue ribs or whatever, you know. And here I am right here in my little young self, and it was cool, man. It was just that crazy, man. It was crazy, really crazy, man.
My God, man.
But when you're young and eager, you know, at that time you really doesn't know where you are in far as the level that you are.
Right.
You just there, and you just bright eyes, and you just soaking it all in, you know. So you don't really know what you've done and what you've accomplished till you start having to talk with people like you.
Right. You're like, oh yeah, I did that.
I did that, you know.
I did. Oh yeah, he was there. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
that.
man.
Damn.
It's crazy to look back at it now. It's crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, and that's the thing. And it's like even every time that we talk, and you know, it's just there's another story that comes out, and you're like, oh my bad, nephew, I forgot about that. And I'm like, you didn't tell me about this. It's crazy. Like it's, and that's why I find that's why I'm doing this, man. It's just for us to have a safe space, a beautiful space on a platform that people understand where we can start going through these stories and things that we may have forgotten and things like that because that's going to have an effect on the come up on the next generation and seeing,
Right.
you know, you get in that car in Detroit, you being in the room with these people and how you reacted because that's another thing too. Something that one of those moments where I think that, you know, where you were kind of sitting in a room with these heavies and you're like, holy shit, like this is, you know, I'm here right now. I had a similar thing with that a couple of years ago. I had the the honor of interviewing Lionel Lueke, the guitar player.
Yeah.
And that day was not his show. He was just the guitar player for Herbie Hancock.
Just the guitar.
He was just the guitar player for Herbie Hancock that day. And so I interviewed him and they invited me to stay. And to see the biggest giants of music, so humble, so, you know, and I couldn't believe it. And at one moment, I swear to God, it was Lionel Lueke, great jazz guitar player. Herbie Hancock, you don't know already. James Genus, bass player for Saturday Night Live, jazz phenom, and probably the bass player on most Daft Punk and modern funky records that you see. The Daft Punk and Pharrell joint, that's him, and he's just all over. Thundercat, who was opening, and Justin Brown. I had palpitations, Alan.
Thundercat.
I said, okay. First of all, Thundercat. That's a special dude. But I had palpitations, and I was just like, I'm in a room right now. The heaviness of the musicality right now. And it took me a second. Like, I don't usually get shook. I've been in some rooms, you know what I'm saying? I don't usually get shook. But that day, and I thought about you. And I was like, what Alan must have been like at 24 years old, 25 years old in a room, and all these people are coming in. And like you said, these type of people that when they walk in a room, you know what I'm saying? That have this presence. And I soak that in too. And you know, what got from them is that they're huge, but their humility was so, I mean, pull up a chair, brother. Come on, just sit down. And it's just like, yo, uncle at barbecue, whatnot. And these are like the saints of your music. I'm looking at the saints of jazz. I'm looking at the saints of, you know what I mean? Yeah. But they just, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess I can do this too. You know what I'm saying? So I thought of you, and I was just like, I wonder how Alan must have been in those rooms, you know, and just being like, yo, I belong. I'm here, you know. That's beautiful, man. So tell me what happened after Millie? Like, you know, was there an actual event that took you to your next journey, musical tour, or was there an in-between moment? Or How would you describe the transition in terms of your next musical chapter?
The next musical chapter. Well, after spending much time with Millie, and we were trying everywhere. First time I ever went to Europe. First time I ever seen Paris. There. First time I ever went to Africa.
Mm.
Man, look at me. We went to Africa, to Kenya, at a time when this is crazy. I just have to say this because
Go
before
for
we
it.
move forward, Jomo Kenyatta,
Mm-hmm.
president of Nairobi. Is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, he was had just passed, and this was during the time when they had just got the independence back,
Right.
and so it was a big event, and Millie Jackson was there for this event,
Mm-hmm.
and that really blew my mind. That's the most incredible thing to me. Arriving in Kenya, and you look and you see all these black folks. You're on the tarmac and you open the door, and you come out the plane and you see thousands of black folks. I don't know nothing about this, right? I'm from down south. I'm just a brother from down south, and we, just coming through, man. And that was a moment that made me think that really, since you mentioned it, and it has nothing to do with music. It was just let me know that I could do something that can be of great value to my life. And just being in Africa for the first time at that moment and walking down the plane and hitting the tarmac, and as soon as my feet hit the ground, I turned into this child and started crying and bawling like a baby. I don't know why, but I just started crying like a baby. And the brother touched me and said, "Welcome home, brother." And I lost it, So that was a moment that, and like I said, it had nothing to do with music. Music brought me there, but
Exactly.
but I think that's the moment that when I say I could do something special in my life. It may not be as big as some others, but especially in my life.
Yeah.
And that kind of woke me up. So move fast forward out of that, and touring with Millie all over the world. Like I said, man, going to Germany, going from East Germany to West Germany. I know I'm deviating a little bit.
Yeah, go for it, man.
But
We here for it.
going from East Germany to West Germany before the wall came down.
Crazy.
This was back in late 70s, like 79.
Yeah.
79, 78, something like that. And we had to your tour bus come up, man, to the gate. You had to get off the tour bus, get your gear. All the gear come off there, and you had to walk through the gates with the armed guards and everybody's there, looking at you like, don't even, you know what I mean? And it's like a movie, man, a James Bond movie or something, man. Tom Cruise or something. And it's like, maybe, here's the picture I see. It's like midnight, man. It's like, man, misty rain. You got the barbed wire fence and stuff, right? And you got your gear, you got your bone in your hand, and your clothes and your luggage and stuff, and you're going through the fence to get to the east or the west side. We had to go both ways, and then you pass all these guys with these guns, and they get on the bus on the other side.
Wow.
And then
Same thing.
do your tour. So that kind of thing like that. That's stay with you for life. You know what I mean? So after doing all that stuff with Millie, man, I think that was the most craziest tours that I've done in 2 years that I ever done in my life, was with her. Seeing things like that,
Right,
was really, really, really special. So to further the journey, we were touring, and we were about to go to Africa again for the second time.
Okay.
Excited, right? But at the same time, I heard that the Jackson were looking for horn sections. They were auditioning horn sections.
Okay.
Yeah, and we wasn't one of the ones that was invited for. They were sending invitations around the country for horn sections. Memphis horns, Phoenix horns, horn section, Earth, Wind and Fire, Brecker Brothers. Every horn section that you knew about was going on. All our mentors was auditioning for this thing, and I got wind of it because the tour manager for Millie was going to be doing the Jacksons tour, promoting the Jacksons tour. So he was talking about it one day, and I kind of heard him, and so I went over to him and said, "Hey, man, hook me up. Can you get me an audition?" It's like, yo, you can't, we're nobodies, right?
Right.
So you can't get into this kind of thing because these are known people who's getting this audition. And once again, something struck me, man. I kept begging him, man. And I said, "Look, man, And I knew some of these guys, in my mind, they were too old for the Jacksons to
Got
be on
it.
stage with Jackson. You know, it's like me trying to be on stage now with Beyonce or
Stop it.
you know, with
Stop.
Cardi B or somebody. You know,
Stop it.
you know
I'm
they the
done.
stars of the day, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So man, it was like, so it was like, man, I said, man, look, man, give me a shot at this thing, man. Give me the tickets to this horn section here, which is one of my mentor horn sections. I mean, really horn section that
Right.
they're really mine. And so I finally convinced him, man. He gave me the tickets, and so I sent them a letter saying that the audition is over. Thank you for the da 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 da, and I pretended to be them, me and my boys. Yes, so
You got a little Dennis the Medicine. You got a little scandalous on the thing. Yo, you jumped in the car, get the Millie. You took
Look
the
at
ticket
man.
from Mike. Hold up, Joe. But again, betting on yourself, dog. Betting on yourself.
I heard somebody say, man, you got to have a pretty much balance of righteousness and wretchedness, you know, to kind of make these things happen, you know.
Wow.
So, and
That's deep.
you know, so that I think that's just something that was just in me and in us where we come from, and it was kind of crazy, Freddie, because after sent the letter and everything, and we went to California, all expenses paid and everything, and we arrived in L.A. and you come off this plane, man, and people holding up signs, Memphis Horns, you know, Memphis Horns. And I said, yeah, that's us. And the boys told me, no, that's not us. And I didn't tell them that.
Okay, so they didn't know this.
They didn't know the scheme, right? And I didn't think I didn't even look at it as a scheme. I just knew that if they heard us, they were gonna like us,
Yeah.
the Jacksons. And so I didn't tell my boys till afterwards. You know, I said, oh, they just got the name mixed up, man. So we had the Memphis Horns. I said, yo, that's us. So the guy got us in the car, and we drove to the hotel. And they had a car for us to get around LA for rehearsals to the audition. So instead of going to the audition when everybody else did it, we got in the car and drove to the house,
To the Jackson's house?
to the Jackson estate.
To the residence?
Yeah, to the residence.
You went straight to the residence.
Straight there. We went right there, man, and drove up to the gate. Didn't know if it was going to be, you know, getting invited in, but I pull up at the gate in the station wagon. We had to add another trumpet player with us because it was just three of us, but they needed four horns.
Okay.
So we guys, four of us in the car. We country boys, man. Straw hats, man. Cut off jeans and mixed match socks, shoes, and whatever, man. It's like, and we pull up to the gate, man. And Mama Jackson answered, yes. And I said, oh, we're blah, 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 the horn section of Jacksonville, Florida, da, 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 da. And the gate opened.
Ooh. Oh.
Just like, hey, man, the gate open. So we go in, man. We drive right up to the house, man, like that, man, and uninvited. And just getting it in, man. And we were in, and she invited us in, man, and we sat in the kitchen and played for her.
Wow.
We played Jackson songs in her kitchen. And she called the boys to come over and told them that the guys was here playing your songs in the house. So all the boys came over except Mike. And we sat there, man, and played, and they loved it. And next thing you know, we went to rehearsal, and they said, well, we don't. And when Mike first met us, and then he was like, so we finally told him we wasn't the Memphis Horns, we the East Coast Horns from Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, we don't care who you are, you the Jackson Horn section now.
Damn.
And that kicked it off. It's like that. That was the next journey, part of the journey right there.
That's a beautiful story.
Mm-hmm.
I love the stories of how you got to the next chapter, man. That's so beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And so the Jacksons, I'm guessing this is after Off the Wall, right?
No, Off the Wall was in the making then.
It was in the make, exactly,
so we
because
had
I
some
know you were around during some of
Yeah.
the creation of that.
Yeah.
But it was the full Jacksons, all six of the brothers.
It was five. Jermaine was not there.
And Jermaine wasn't there on that
Randy
tour?
was coming in now.
And Randy was coming in,
Randy
because I
was
remember
making
Randy
five.
was there, and Randy made
the
five,
now.
and then they called it Jacksons.
Yeah.
That's right, exactly.
'Cause,
Got it. So
this is at a time when Off the Wall was, because on the show we were doing some Off the Wall songs.
okay. Oh, dope.
Yeah.
So you got the
Yeah.
the first glimpses
Oh yeah.
of what would be probably the
That
most.
transition, yeah, we was right in the midst of that.
My God. So, man, I got so many questions. I don't even know where to begin. You know, so when it comes to that.
too.
But so, talk to me about, I guess, the Jacksons live show. Because, you know, y'all know I'm a stage musician and it's about performance, really. You know what I'm saying? Take it to the stage.
Yes, sir, sucker.
You know what I'm saying?
Stay, sucker.
So, like, was it like military, regimented? Y'all had to repeat things over and over. Was there a bit more of a freedom in terms of some of the arrangements that you did? Musical director. What was like the rehearsal process in terms of getting that show to the level that we all know as the quality Jackson standard? You know what I'm saying? So talk to me about that work from that moment where you got there and then just chopping it up with the Jacksons, you know, like the music, the show, you know what I mean? What was that like?
I remember the first rehearsal. We got to, we were there and you walk in. Rehearsal was scheduled like from about 9 in the morning till about 9 at night, something like that, every day. And it may have been every day, it may have been 5 days a week, maybe a couple of days off or something like that. But it was scheduled like 12-hour days. So we go to this big sound stage and once you get in the sound stage, there's no going out for anything. You don't need to go out for anything. Everything is right there.
That's right.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner is right there. You know, basketball hoop is right there.
Hey.
Everything is right there. So we were practicing. Everything was not military like, but it was a regiment. It was definitely formatted. You know.
Right.
And everything had to happen on time, on point, all the time. You know, including this light, that light bulb.
Right.
That everything had to happen on time because it's all visual. You know, at that level, everything is all visual, along with the quality of the music. But it makes you realize that, like we say, it's showtime now. It's another level. It's something, you know. And Mike was one of the cats that people pay their money. They come to see something special.
Right.
You know, and you can't shortchange them. So the rehearsal was always like, man, boom, 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 boom. Oh, let's go back and get that part. We missed this. We missed that. Never a count off. You know, never that 1, 2, 3 click bang. None of that kind of thing.
Wow.
You know, like for instance, like you had to learn how to in the darkness of the stage when the show starts. It's pitch dark. You can't see the person next to you, right? And all you hear is click, click.
What do you mean click, click?
That's the drummer over there going tick, tick.
Okay.
So you got something like, ladies and gentlemen, da 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 da, Jackson, da da da. You hear the crowd going crazy, and it's loud as loud. You can't hear yourself breathe. It is loud, right? But so you're rehearsing for these things because they already know this is going to happen. I don't know. We don't know this is going to happen, but they already, they're like the biggest thing on the planet. So we're rehearsing. Everything is quiet. You hear tick, tick, papa do da.
What you mean? Hold on, Posse. No, no. What you mean click, click? I'm going to need a little bit more than a click, click. No. What? I got palpitations right now. Just thinking about that.
At the way they did things, man, it was like that. It was. You had to be ready, man. You were cocked and ready, man. And this is before in-ears. In-ears don't exist.
And that's what I'm saying. That's not.
You don't get that.
And dogs, and let me talk to the audience right quick. This is before in-ears. This is before the sequences where you had the dude being able to tell your slate, okay, next song, can you feel it? Coming in, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that's what we get, you know what I'm saying, today on this stage. We spoiled. We spoiled brats. You don't need to rehearse. Everything is given. Everything is fed, and it isn't whatever. And you up in here talking about click, 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 click.
That was it.
And so how?
And that's from
So how did the tempo? How do you know what tempo to?
Well, you rehearsed. Everybody got a
Internal
clock in
Jesus
mind.
Christ.
And we all do. We all got that thing. But we get away from it now. We don't use it, so it's very,
The microphone.
it's very minute now. Sorry about that. So we all have that thing, man. But it was like that. 3, 4, boom. 1, 1, 2, dabba dang. So you heard that. You heard this click, click.
Damn,
That's
that's
it.
it.
Click, click, babba bang, horns. Doom, bum, bum, bam, ba-doom, doom, 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 ba-doom, doom, doom.
Oh, stop it.
So from that moment on, the show is on. You know, for the first 3 or 4 songs, then Mike gonna talk to you for a minute. Then it comes down a little bit. Then it's like, you know, the next song, doop, 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 bang. You know,
All right.
but never had these things like 1, 2, 3. No, man. This is like no. No. What are you doing? What are you doing? We didn't come here for no clicks. You know, 1, 2. We gonna do it. Nah, man. Nah, man.
That's excellent. Like, thank you so much for giving us the detail
Hey,
of
man.
that story. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like cats, and I know a lot of musicians and cats, you know, that can be looking at this and whatnot, and to see just how on you have to be, what it's like to record in a studio with 2-inch as opposed to Pro Tools today.
Yes, sir.
Meaning that you got to come in well prepared.
I can tell you something about that too. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Good Lord,
Yeah, man. But that thing, man, rehearsing like that, man, for 2 months, you know, before the show hit the road. You know, maybe 5, 6 days a week, 12-hour days. You know, so all those things are put in you. These brothers, you come in rehearsal, man, and the brothers are there. Jackson, they're there. I don't know how long before we got there. So we get there at 9, they already there.
Right.
We leave at 9, they still there.
Right.
You know, so doing their thing, and they sit down, man, and one of the most beautiful things, man, to watch them do their thing, man, and sing to each other and shit.
Right.
It's like, fuck, man. There's no harmonies that sound like these boys. You know, you heard them boys, the Jacksons, man. These harmonies is like, it's like one person singing, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one person singing all these things. Anyway, but so that we put a lot of time in that, man, and learn how to do these things, man, and we take a break, you know, and we have lunch and shoot some hoop, you know, and try to get Mike to shoot some hoop. It won't happen.
No, not even?
No.
Mike didn't have a jumper?
Man, Mike
couldn't hit it from the elbow? He had nothing?
Man, Mike didn't want to touch the ball.
Oh, come on.
This was the man, ball. We shoot. Man, this is one of the little things, man. But you ball roll over by Mike, man. Mike be to my, yo, Mike, take a shot. No, he may pick it up. Say, yeah. No, Mike, take a shot. No, it's okay. And no, Mike didn't shoot no hoop. But you get Mike in the pool. It's a whole nother story.
Word.
You got Flipper or somebody. You know, he's the fish, man. That's that dude, man. But yeah, so we did all that. Rehearsal was really always intense, man. Like I said, light, everything, you know. And after a few tours, man, it was so important sometimes that the light guy would miss that cue. Here's one story. The light guy would miss a cue. And it's like, man, this dude missed the cue again. Just one little light bulb to go, bing. He missed it again. He's always late. You know, maybe 2 seconds late. Mike is there, boom, other boys there doing something good. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Then the light come on, click. Say, no, man, the lights would be there when he say yes, you know, or whatever, you know.
Right.
And so the cat kept missing this thing, man. One of the boys in my horn section, we was on a break one day, and he told Mike, man, he said, Mike, man, this dude keep missing this. He keep missing this cue, man. You ought to fight this dude, man. One of my boys, right?
The left shoulder, on the left shoulder.
And Mike was like, nah, you know, that's whatever. Man, the next day, man, that dude was nowhere near.
Oh no!
They done fired this dude, man. He gone, man. It's like, what happened to Frank? No, man, Frank been gone. Frank got his plane. He been gone.
Because that's the other thing too, that, you know, we know Mike as the sweet and the soft voice and whatever, but Mike from Gary.
That's
from
right.
Gary, Indiana, still.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Chicago
a lot of people like, don't
right
get it
there.
twisted, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know. Yeah, man.
Nah, man, because
All
I
them
mean,
boys, man.
dude,
you get tough and fight. They get feisty.
Yeah, you get feisty.
A little feisty.
A little
But yeah, man, that kind of, so it was really intense in that way that everything had to be on point, you know?
Right.
And I remember the first day, man, with meeting, the first day I really actually laid eyes on Michael. They call him Silky back then. You know? But the first day, man, Fredy, man, I think I said this to you before. This dude, man, And I'm sure some other people are sort of like this, but not like this, but sort of like this. We rehearsal the first day, man, and band playing, man. The band playing. We just doing our thing, man. We got these guys, top guys from so and so. We just a horn section. We just playing. Everybody's like cool. Everybody's at the top of the game. We practicing stuff, man. And so here comes Mike. He comes in, and he's on the side of the stage. So when he comes in, walk in, and he just, just Mike, just casual cut off shorts and whatever. And he comes in, man. So we kind of like slow down a little bit. He said, no, keep playing. So we just playing. Man, dude, come. He stood on the side of the stage, man, just looking at us, right? Grooving. He just doing like this, man, right? Just watching. Not grooving really hard, just watching, you see him. And then dude stepped on the stage. From there, stepped on the stage. He turned into that dude then.
Oh, no.
He turned into Mike. Just that moment right there. I mean, from the moment he was Michael Joe Jackson, he turned into Michael Jackson right there, And man, dude stepped on the stage, man, spent it around about 3 times like the Tasmanian devil, and slid across the stage, ran across the stage over there, man, and turned around again, grabbed the mic, bam. I'm like this, right? What the hell? This dude, man,
And
a whole nother being.
And
I say this like with all honesty, a whole nother being.
And you had a front row seat.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. This dude, man, I mean, man, this dude is like none other, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
That dude real, man. That dude was real. Real, man. So that kind of thing like that was going on, man. Rehearsal was really, 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 really intense like that and joyous at the same time,
And that's the thing. It's like I find that, I'm starting to get into this space for the first time in my career of mixing a regimented work ethic, but mixed with so much joy and comfortable and being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable with the people that are around you, building trust with those people, because that's what it is at the end of the day. Because when we go on tour and stuff like that, it's not just the stage. It's about shooting hoops at the break. It's about being at the pool. It's about that jam session. It's about, you know what I'm saying, playing horns for mama in the kitchen and all these experiences. We on stage, that's 5-10% of the time. The rest of the time we spending all this time together, you know what I'm saying? And we can have a crazy work ethic. This is our craft. And be as serious like a samurai with a sword. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't fucking around. I'm putting in work here. But I'm doing this in a family-oriented environment, and these people support me. I trust them. They trust me. And when it's time to work, it's time to work. When it's time to play, it's time to play.
It's time to play.
And then we're ready to go. And that's just must have been the most beautiful thing to live that with probably the greatest performer of all time that we know.
I think so. I believe it, and I have no doubt about it. I don't know anybody come close to this dude, man. Man, and he was so gracious, man. Like, Mike, man, was like, he would like before show starts, you're back in the room getting everybody together, and you do your prayer and whatever, do your thing. And he would always remind you, man, that people came here and pay good money for something.
Hey,
I'm
about to walk off the set. See now, this is what I tell my people all the time. Oh my God, respect that.
People go to work, man, and they save their money for this event, And he had a thing, man. Where he would be like, and all of them, all 5 of the boys, they'd be like, "So how many people passed out last night?"
Stop it! They be counting the pass out, man. Oh, come on, yo. That's cool.
Man, come on, man. The security say, well, it was 13, it was 15. You say, we got to do better than that.
More ambulances. I want more ambulances.
And every show there was ambulances for every show.
And that's what gets me. There's just like, what's up, y'all? Y'all be calling the hospitals when y'all coming into town and stuff. Just be like, yo, make sure y'all got about like 3-4 ambulances on cue, because Mike and them in town, yo. Alan Prater got the horn. He about to make somebody go crazy.
Freddie, you on stage, man. You see the front row with all these people, man, and you see them passing each other, passing people from inside the arena over the stage, over the boundary to take them backstage, because they like a wet dish rag or something. They gone. Yeah, they gone, dog. They gone, man. You see that all through the show, man. Somebody, oh, there's another one. There's another one. He drop them like flies, man.
Bad.
Man, yeah, man. So that was like, man, woo, first time I witnessing something like that. You know, that ain't just next level. That's ultimate level. You know?
Yeah, man.
And I'm quite sure it happened with people like Prince. It may happen with people like, you know, Isaac Hayes, Barry White. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them, you know. I know those are the craze with the Beatles. You know, when the European invasion came in, for sure. You know, but yeah.
Man, that thing was real, man. It was like, whoa, we in something very, very special right here.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see that again.
Probably not in our lifetime.
Yeah, not lifetime. I mean, because it's shock as well too. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, the eighth wonder of the world. You know what I mean? You know? Like it really is that. Yeah. You know, and it's just man, and us, you know, growing up, what you described, what you saw on a nightly, that's what we were watching on television and being like, yo, like. Like, it's a phenomenon. You're like, would I pass out if I was in that situation? Why did she pass? Like that's a real ambulance. Like that's like
they got
people out here
downstairs with masks on, trying to revive them and stuff. You know,
because I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, it could be Beyonce, it could be the fines, but if I paid my money, you damn sure I'm be conscious for the damn show. I paid too much damn money to roll up in here and just be like, oh, that's just right. I gotta been like, yo, did I miss working day and night? I missed working day and night, didn't I? Damn. I wanted to see the horn section play working day and night.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
that kind of thing, man.
Exactly, my guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you did that, didn't you?
So yeah, man, you mentioned playing the horn lines, man. Iconic lines at Quincy Road and stuff like that, you know. And you like that, you know, and I saw this thing with Mark Ronson talking about things, and you playing these lines, man, it's like, ooh, you know. And Quincy after the show come up saying, who in the hell are you guys?
Right.
You know that kind of stuff like that, you know. We was popping, man. It wasn't no joke. We was country boys, but we wasn't no joke with them horns, man.
Shit.
We did our thing.
Yeah, for y'all to be on that stage, man.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing they stress. Everybody here is here for a reason.
That's what's up.
You know, everybody here ain't no accidents. Everybody's here because they're the top of their game.
That's right.
You know, so we expect the top of your game to shine. You know what I mean? So, without even speaking it, you know, you around some of the greatest people around. You know. Yeah, that was cool.
That's amazing, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. You're being very generous right now, and I so appreciate you.
Oh man, no man. Man, it's so many things that I've been blessed, man, to witness, man, and just being around and like a fly on the wall sometimes, and sometimes just in the midst of it, man. You know, meeting people, man, that I know. My family's proud that I met people like Elizabeth Taylor, or meeting people like Quincy Jones, or, you know, anybody, man. Meeting people through these guys, you know, through Millie Jackson, or through Boys at Cameo, and you meet people that you never thought you would ever meet, you know. You know, and you really meet them, like, you know, like Mike say, what, you don't know Liza Minnelli? Mike, how do I know Liza Minnelli? Who am I? Come on, man.
Come on now. Really, Mike?
That's Judy Garland's daughter, you know. I mean, how do I know her, Mike? Come on, man. You don't know Elizabeth Taylor? Mike, come on. Oh, that's your Liz, come meet Fun.
That's what he called you, true Fun. Yeah,
and
Fun.
this kind of dude, this dude is, man. It wasn't like, oh, here is Liza Minnelli, here's Quincy. Oh, don't say nothing over there. It's like, yo, Quincy, come meet Fun. You know, like, you don't know Quincy. Quincy, you don't know Fun? No, you don't know Fun. I don't even know Fun.
You don't even know can of paint. What you talking about, Mike?
But he was that kind of dude, you know, generous like that. So,
yeah.
And you go there, and, you know, shake hands and chop it up, and the person he introduced you to, and he'll chop it up with you for a minute and say, you know, oh, so how you like it? Where you from? Da da da. Oh man, we're so happy to be here around you. See you guys play. You know, it's like, you talking to me?
Right.
You came here to see me play? You know, that kind of thing, man. So that thing was crazy, man. It was crazy, man. You know, it was blessed for sure.
Good Lord, man.
No shame in that, man. It's blessed, man.
That's blessed. That's blessed, man. That's stories and experiences for a
Yeah.
lifetime that you pass down to your children, your grandchildren,
All of that.
and yeah, man. And
All of that.
and these are just the stories that I live for. You know what I'm saying? That we must capture this. You know, we must speak to our big brothers, our uncles, our mentors, and we appreciate when y'all become so generous, because I do find that there's a time, you know, in a musician's life where they're just like, okay, I want to give back, and okay, I want to be able to tell, and some musicians they take it with them, but I find that you to be so generous, man, and I don't see the way that you do it with me, but the way that you do it with others, and then on top of that, to share these stories and tell these people these things, because, you know, Alan, you know, you could write a book, right? You know, you could write a book. I'm dead serious about that. You know what I mean? In terms of understanding like the 360-degree experience of what black music in North America is. You've lived it. You've really lived it. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, it could be, you know, meeting Liza Minnelli in the kitchen to, oh yeah, well, we were in West Germany and we played that show and there was a political situation, to Kenya, to, you know, on all these things, they speak to more than just music, like you said, like the Kenya experience that you said, you know, this was just aside from music, but the impact that it had on you and what it meant for you, and you telling that story to somebody, I'm sure somebody is going to get something out of it.
Hopefully.
And be like, you know what,
Man.
maybe maybe I should go do that and get that, man. So thank you.
Yeah, it's cool, man. You know, it's good to share things, man, and I'm blessed enough to be around to share things, and you know, like we live in such a, I want to say, a disposable world now, a microwave kind of world, and everything is like quick, fast, in a hurry.
Right.
That it's something to be had about, something to be said about substance, man, and having a background, you know. Like, we know we watch all the quick successes and stuff, which is cool, you know, and I'm not hating on anything like that. But it's something to be said about a story that you can tell, you know. And I'm glad I got a little piece of that, you know, a little story to say something about
a little piece.
A little piece,
Just
man.
a little piece. Okay, just a little piece. It's a big piece for me, man. That's a big piece. You are a wealth of knowledge. You are you're becoming an encyclopedia too. You know what I'm saying? You know, when we chop it up, music.
We chop it up a lot. You know, no doubt.
You know, I'm a sponge when you talk. You know, I'm a sponge when you talk, for real. You know, and
I
get to
appreciate
come
when you
to
come around. I appreciate when you come around. You know, we chop it up.
No doubt.
You and Zachy.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Alan gave my son a trombone. You know, so that was a hell of a moment. That was a hell of a moment in history, for sure.
More for me too, man. Get that little dude, man.
Respect, man. Zachy, we're gonna watch this episode. There's not too much cursing.
Zachy, where the camera?
Which one? Yeah, go ahead, look at that one right there. Yeah,
Zachy, what's up, bro?
Oh man,
my man.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, no doubt.
Man, so before we leave, I would be remiss if I did not at least talk about, you know, how you went from being a horn player that toured the entire world, and you became a singer, dog. Like legit, like putting out records, dog. Like the Aka Solo days, you know what I'm saying? Like DJ Jazzy Jeff, you know what I'm saying? And then right now I'm speaking to you, and we're not speaking as if, yo, this was my experiences, and you know, and I'm just in the country, living in the countryside, and I just want to tell these stories, and you know, this was something of the past. You have a record right now that is out, that is super hot fire, that is blazing Europe as we speak, that is on Spotify with crazy numbers. You out in these streets as the lead singer of a project called The Brooks. You gotta say it like that. The Brooks. Exactly. The Brooks, y'all. And for me, moving up to Montreal, and before community, before any of all these things, it was him. Before he knew me, I was in the back of the club taking notes. Like, that's it. Aliens at Jello Bar, Family Tree. This is what shaped me. This is what brought me to where I am today. And if I didn't have big brothers in black music, I don't know if I would have stayed in this city or if I would be able to do what I'm doing right now in this city. So I thank you for that. And when I found out, I was like, yeah, man, vocals is not even his first instrument, man. He was playing horns for the Jackson. I was like, excuse me, what? Like, and so I just gotta think, like, how does somebody reinvent themselves in that way? And what was the thing that made you say, like, okay, I'm gonna put down the horn, I'm gonna pick up and really be a front and be a vocal and sing, master that craft, get to the point where my vocals that I was with my horn, and to find yourself now as the lead singer of a funk group and one of the patriarchs of R&B and funk in this city, in this country, and let's be real, in North America, because I be walking to Jazz Fest with Alan, and I be seeing musicians and what. And, we were walking one day, and Marcus Miller was walking. Alan was like, "Hey, yo, Marcus, what's up, Marcus? Yo, you remember TT from back in the day? Yeah, man, I was talking to TT on the phone last night. TT said, what, TT? Yeah, Alan, yeah, what's up?" I'm just like, this motherfucker, like, he just not like, that's just who you are. So in North America, but now as a singer, man, like, talk to me about just that transition from horn to vocals to being where you are right now. What was the factor? What made that switch in you, man?
Actually, it was just by chance, man. After touring, like after the Jacksons, I got a chance to tour with Cameo. Made an album with Cameo, and it blew up and everything. And I was just like, man, I wanted to be them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why I set out from the beginning, to be the artist, you know. But never thought about being a singer. Just wanted to have my own band. You know, so working with, you know, Mike, you see that, working with the Jacksons, working with Mike, working with OJ's, whoever. And you start seeing that center stage, man. I really wanted to be there. I wanted to be on that place right there. And not, like I said, not necessarily being the singer. But so when I decided to leave the U.S. and I was going to Europe, my mind was going to be just to learn to write songs.
Right.
To write songs. And I discovered Montreal on the way to Europe and fell in love with Montreal and decided to stay here. And I used to write songs and have guys that I met over places and sing the songs that I was writing. And just couldn't get what I was hearing in my head from them. And they were fantastic singers, but being from where I'm from, I was used to hearing and feeling something different. And so I just started doing the demos myself just to hear how the songs came about. And as I was showing people the songs, they would say, man, you should just do these songs yourself, you know?
Word.
And so that kind of led to another thing, and I started doing some backgrounds for Mario Pelchet.
Say word.
Was a guy named Chef Fugain. And doing things like that. And I was like, and couldn't speak the language, but phonetically I was doing some things. But anyway, I started I was invited to do things because people was liking my voice, which I didn't. So I never started by being a singer, but I knew I could be a vocalist.
Got it.
I could communicate. So after that thing came about, man, I just started just writing more songs I wrote. I started just demoing the songs myself and just listening to them. So fast forward, we did Portfolio, and it was with Danny Blinko and all the Chris Millington, fantastic, amazing singers. And we went forward, and I ran across the Brooks years and years later. With the Aliens, I was the lead singer with them.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, through just by chance, because we got together and just started doing some funk stuff, and I just started, you know, vocalizing some stuff, and we just grooving. And it grew from, let's go do a club. We used to go, man, we went to this biker club out east, man, with me and the Aliens, man, and we walked in this club, man, and asked the dude, could we play in the club? And the dude said, no, man, we don't do bands here. He was like, we're just going to sit up here and play right there. It's gonna be, you know, it would be okay. The dude said, okay, we set up. It was a bikers club. You know, I don't know if it's the Hells Angels or what, but it was a bikers club. These boys,
You so bold, man.
you know. So we sat
A
there and
black
played.
man rolling on a biker club in the east of Montreal, man.
Look here, man.
Woo.
We was funksters, man. We'd play it. We do a concert in a phone booth. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So we go, man, and we play this club, man. And these bikers sitting in there, man, like, what the heck are you doing in here? You know, they looking back at us like this, man, and we just playing some Parliament Funkadelic, you know, and some Chocolate City and stuff. You know, we playing some stuff, man.
I'm done.
Make my funk the P phone. We playing some stuff, man. Slave and stuff, and so they dug it, man. After a while, they dug it. So the dude invited us back again. Wow. So we was doing that every Sunday. We're on the East End, man, the bikers club, man. These boys, beers down there, motorcycles outside and everything, you know, and here these 4 black cats, you know, 4 brothers come walking in there and setting up and playing, man. We did that for a while, so it kind of like got me to start and say, okay, you know, I can do something with this.
Wow.
And but never thought about being a singer. I like I said, I say right now I'm a vocalist because I know cats who can, like yourself, who can really sing. You know what I mean? So vocalists, I can communicate pretty well, you know, and you know I know that. And so fast forward, when I met the Brooks, I went to a show. It's always something in me. I always do the same thing. It's weird. That's talking
Yeah, I realize that every single one of your chapters opens with a very similar story.
Ay, boy, you crazy. Look here, man. I go to do this show. I was invited to do this show at DA Zones, man, which is the jazz club in Montreal. It's crazy, crazy cool. And the Brooks were there.
Yeah.
It's just a rhythm section. They were doing an instrumental album. I was invited to do a show there by Dan Twain, and we had never met each other. I sent them the material I wanted to do, and first time I met them was the night at the show. And so I come out, they were doing instrumentals, and I was like, whoa.
Right?
Whoa. These boys from Montreal, they was like the Meters, Butchie and MGs, you know, and cats like that, you know, and I'm grooving and stuff, man, Never Brothers and stuff, you know, I'm like, whoa. So we did our thing, man. So Alex, the band leader, he said, yo, Alan, I want you to hear, and he been watching us for a while. He said, I want you to hear the stuff we're doing. We're going to release an album, an instrumental album. So he sent me some stuff at home. And he sent me about 6 songs, instrumental songs. And when I listened to it, the first thing I heard, I was like, whoa, this song needs a vocal to it, you know? So here I go. I put a vocal, background vocals, arranged and everything on that track. I sent it to him about 2 in the morning. So when he woke up that next morning, he got it. And so he hit me up and he was excited. But by the time he hit me up, by the time I got up, which is about noon, 1 o'clock, I had sent 3 more songs.
Oh, word.
You know, I mean, lyrics, man, vocal, background vocals, all kind of stuff, you know, vamps and all kind of stuff.
Wow.
Laid out the whole tracks to 6 songs. So they stopped the presses on what they was doing.
Wow.
The boys down in Dap Kingdom was mixing their stuff.
Yeah.
In Brooklyn, and they stopped the press and they said, we're gonna put some vocal versions on. So they kept the instrumental version, but they put a vocal version of the album too.
Got it.
So all the vocals I did at home was included on the album, and that's how we met.
Got it.
Just like that. So I just the songs was just saying, man, write to this, and that was my thing. I just liked writing. So, and they loved it, man, and I loved what they was doing, and so that's how that Brook thing kicked off like that. So we started touring with that.
And then you found yourself singing lead at some of the biggest festivals in the world.
Yep.
And here you are again.
God is good, man.
And God is good, man. And here you are again, man.
Yeah.
And for me, when I see that, that's a testament to how music is an ageless activity. It is a multi-generational activity. It's one of the few that we have on this earth.
It is.
Really an activity where you know, multi-generationally we can get on the same stage and create some magic together, and no person is greater or lesser or whatever. We're all doing the thing for the greater good, for the music, for the part. And I think that there's a very big lesson in this for artists, musicians, and whatnot, of the ability to reinvent yourself, the ability to be greater than your instrument. You always tell me something too. You didn't choose music. Music chose you. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And it's like, you are greater than your instrument. Go beyond your instrument. You know, a lot of instrumentalists is like, oh, I'm a singer, or I'm a bass player, I'm a horn player, and this is what I have. And if I don't have this thing, I don't know what I'm going to do in my life. And I know a lot of people in this pandemic got hit by that because I'm a live cat and I'm a this, and it got taken away from you. And it's like, what you going to do now? But it's like, we are music. We walk it. We breathe it. You know, that's why I try to tell my band all the time too, and how I realized I was like, no, I'm a producer. I'm producing because I can make something happen without putting my hands or my voice on it because it's my mind. And your mind, Alan, is a beautiful thing, man. It's a really beautiful thing. So I just want to thank you because I think you are such an example to me as I go into different chapter in my career, as I do other things, as, you know, I don't want to just be a singer. I don't want to just be a bass player. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to kind of spread my wings. And you were one of the people, like, you know, when I was in a bit of a down time and a bit of a crossroads in my life, you were like, well, nephew, just go ahead and do it. What you trying to do? Okay, well, pick up the phone. You know, you got allies in this city. You know, you got people who love you and who care for you. Why are you scared? Just pick up the phone and call. If you need help, call somebody. If you do things or whatnot, and don't be afraid to jump into your purpose. And it could maybe come into a different package, or it may not be what you expect, but you will always be living your purpose. You know what I'm saying? I play bass, but it still serves the same purpose. Right. I sing, but I still play the same purpose. I'm here interviewing on a podcast, but it still serves the same purpose. And you're one of the people to teach me that. So,
well, you teaching others and you teaching me at the same time, all the time.
Amen.
So it's like, man, you know.
Man. And I love you so much, man. I just want the world to know that, man.
I love you too, man.
I really do, man, for sure. So listen, before we get too emotional in front of the people.
I was about to signal you just then. Let's take a pause.
Let's take a pause.
Actually, yeah, let's take a pause.
Let's take a pause. Go for it. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Gimme the Check podcast. I'm your host, Fredy V. That's my mentor, Alan Prater. Stay blessed and highly favored. Much love.